Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. This is June 8th, 2020, and this is Yoel Kortick, Senior Librarian at Ex Libris. And today we are discussing how to set up and use the Alma Print Daemon. Let's first talk about for a moment where you can get information about setting up and using the Alma Print Daemon. There's a variety of places. First of all, we're looking now at a blog on our developers network where if we click blog and we do a simple search here, for example, for print daemon, we get a blog on using the print daemon. Here it is, how to set up and use the print daemon. We're going to have that open during our session today. The print daemon, as we're going to see, uses the printout queue. We had a session in the past about the printout queue, and we're going to start off our session today discussing the printout queue. So we'll be discussing that in here under Alma Training, Extended Training, Presentations and Documents, Letters. We've got something here about the printout queue and quick printing in Alma, a PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to send out the link to both of these right now. Those of you on the call, on the webinar right now, will have therefore the links. Those of you who are joining us via a video sometime in the future will have this via the locations I'm describing. Go to developers, Ex Libris Group.com, blog, and search for Print Daemon, for example. Then, of course, we also have YouTube. So in YouTube, I did a simple search here for Alma Print Daemon, and we've got the Alma Print Daemon from just 4 days ago, and the Printouts Queue in Alma from also 4 days ago. And these are part of a playlist, both of them together. So you're welcome to view the YouTube videos on both of them, the PowerPoint, the blog, it's all there. So, brief explanation, and then we're going to jump into the Printouts Queue, and then we're going to jump into the Print Daemon. So, the Printouts Queue is a way to automatically send certain letters to a queue. Then the print daemon goes to that queue and automatically prints them. You don't need to use the print daemon with the printouts queue. We've had the printouts queue now probably for about a year. I'm opening up this PowerPoint here. And now when you have the printouts queue, if you want to print something, then you need to go to the files and click print. I'll show you what we mean, and then we'll configuration. So now in Alma, or for quite some time in Alma, there's a printout queue that the users can get to by doing admin printouts queue, and this includes certain letters. Here's one right here, the loan receipt letter, which is pending. If I want to print this, I need to say print, and then I would choose the printer. Or when I have a list of them, I can choose this way and say print selected. But I need to come to the printouts queue and do the actual printing. So let me go all here just so we see everything, and let me say all here. Okay, so here we've got a lot of letters. I'll get the status pending. So if I have all of these waiting to be printed, I could say select them all and print them, or I could take one by one, print them. However, we can instead install, configure, and use the print daemon, which will automatically come to this printing queue and print them out to a predefined printer. So let's first talk about this printouts queue. And we'll define the Printouts Queue now, and then we'll start using it. And again, the Printouts Queue has existed for a long time. It's the Print Daemon, which is new. So we're going to focus primarily on the Print Daemon, but because one is dependent on the other, we'll be discussing both of them. So let's go without further ado. So in order to define a printout queue, we need to define a printer. And the printer we specify is a queue. So I'll click configuration up here on the top right. And then I'll go to choose a library because the printers are defined on the level of a library. So I'll say, for example, the main library. And in fulfillment is where they are defined. And now we can add a new printer. And I've already got 9 printers here. In fact, when we learned about the printout queue last time, it was the Yala printer here that we defined. We can even see when we did that, perhaps. So this is the one we did last time. But let's make a new one here on the spot. So I will say add printer, and let's call this Kentucky Mountain Printer. Sometimes it's a printer at a desk, at a certain desk, or maybe it's the Hewlett Packard 5160 or some other name they've got, but as long as it has a name. Typically, a printer will have an email associated with it. And then when something is printed, it goes to an email. And then a printer has an email, so it's sent to the printer and prints, or a third-party software such as Namtuk, Thunderbird, or even Outlook is used to make rules that say if it goes to this email, print it to this printer, etc., etc. But when we have a printout queue, we don't have to specify an email, and we're not going to today. So now we've defined a printout queue called the Kentucky Mountain Printer with a code KENMOU, and we're going to add the printer. And here we are, the Kentucky Mountain Printer, and you can see it has a check mark in the column called Online Queue because it is a print queue. And now it needs to be associated with a circulation desk. I'm going to get out of here for a moment because when we go into a circulation desk, which we're going to do shortly, we can specify which printer we want to use at that desk. Also a feature which came out when we defined the printout queue. So let's go back to the Kentucky Mountain Printer and define which desk or service department. It can also be a service department. A service department, for example, might be a binding area or a digitization department. In any case, let's edit the Kentucky Mountain Printer and let's associate that with a circulation desk. I'm going to associate it with the main circulation desk, attach it, and save. Great. So here it is. Wonderful. Now, let me go back to the configuration. I want to look at the circulation desk as well. There's my main circulation desk, edit. And everything is good here. Now, it's here as well. So we're seeing it from two sides. We saw it first from the side of the printer. Now we're seeing it from the side of the circulation desk. And all of these are associated with this circulation desk. Therefore, when I'm at this circulation desk, those are the printers that I can choose, with a default being the Yala printer. Okay, so let's choose now the one we just made, which is going to be the Kentucky Mountain Printer. So now I'm at my circulation desk. We're not going to discuss the quick printing. You can see that in the documentation. We're talking today about the printout queue. We've now defined a printout queue called the Kentucky Mountain Printer, and it's associated with the main library. Now, I'm going to show one slide from the PowerPoint. The letters which can be printed to the printout queue is not every letter in Alma, because the majority of letters in Alma, there's no intention to print them to a piece of paper. The printout queue in the Print Daemon is exclusively for letters that we want printed to a piece of paper. For example, a letter to the vendor saying we want to order Introduction to Library Science with ISBN whatever to a vendor is not something we would typically print to a piece of paper. Nor is a patron circulation summary which goes out by email saying you have these on loan and these on loan and overdue. However, things which appear here on the screen, such as the loan receipt letter and return receipt letter, are letters which there may be a need to print to an actual piece of paper. Same with the hold request slip, the resource request slip letter, the fine and fee receipt letter, and the transit slip letter. So these are the ones that can be printed to a print queue. And let's print a couple of these just so we see that our letters will go to the queue. So here we go. Let's take a look here if I've got anything on my pick from shelf list. And I do. Elizabeth Blackadder, Philip Long. If I print slip on that, it's going to be printed now to the queue. And if I come and I say fulfillment managed patron services, and I take one of our patrons named Elia Zafrani, and I loan to Elia, override, I loan to Elia an item or on loan called Lean Out. Everybody lean in. An example I used to use all the time from Sheryl Sandberg. Now we also have Lean Out by Dawn Foster. And I loan that. I'm going to say done now. Here it is, loaned. I'll say done, and that's going to print a loan receipt. And now I'm going to return it. Don't know the barcode offhand, so we'll just do a quick search for it. Lean Out Dawn. And return it and exit. Now, why did that print a loan receipt and a return receipt? Not related to our specific purpose here of the printout queue, but we'll take a look at it anyway. Inside the circulation desk, we have designated that it will print a loan receipt and a return receipt right here and right here. Okay, to the circulation desk printer. So let's now take a look at something. Let's do one more thing. I saw that Elia owed some money. Elia is usually a very good patron, but right now she owes some money to the circulation desk, to the library, excuse me. We're going to pay part of her fine. Let's pay. She owes €98, and we'll pay part of that. Okay. Yep, we're sure. Okay, Elia just paid €1. Now, if we come to admin, printouts queue, we can facet by the Kentucky Mountain Printer. You can see on the left, we have various facets for the printer. We faceted by the Kentucky Mountain printer, and here are the 4 letters that we just printed. 1616, June 8th. This is an Amsterdam server, so therefore it says that time. So we've got the cash receipt because Elia paid, the return receipt, loan receipt because she loaned and returned lien out, and the resource request slip letter because there was something I did pick from shelf. And we can now print that if we want to, or preview it, or cancel it. So that's a very brief introduction to the Printouts Queue. Enough of an introduction that now we can get to the Print Daemon. Because the purpose now of the Print Daemon is to send these automatically to the printer. The Print Daemon is going to run in the background, see what we've got here, and automatically print it. So we've concluded the first part of our session. We got 160 people. People just keep joining. So everybody's still with me? Just say, yes, we hear you. Yes, we see you. And then I'm going to go on. And if anyone has a question, send it in by chat. Okay, people are still with us. Great. So now we're going to go on. Where were we? Okay, so the first thing we need for the Print Daemon is an API key. Let's take a look here. We've even got it here. An API key that allows for read-only for configuration and read-write for task lists. And let's take a look at that. Now, most likely, the people who are using the Print Daemon are not the people who will install it and make sure they have an API key. Usually it's a system administrator, someone like that, but I will mention it anyway. The people who know about the API keys already know what I'm saying here, but I'm going to say it anyway. So I'm going to go now. I'm logged into the Developers Network. You can see my name on the top right. And I'll choose Build My APIs. Go to Manage My API Keys. And you see here, I have one which has configuration for production only, the last one, and task list for read-write. If I take a look at that, I can see here we have configuration for production read-only, task list for production read-only. If I want, I can go add something else, but all I need here is these two: configuration for read-only, task list for read-write. And I'm going to take that API key, copy it, and now I'll hide it again, though I'm really not concerned someone's going to take it and do something they shouldn't do with it. And oops, sorry about that. Where happened to my notepad? Control A, Control V. Okay, just so I have it on the side, because we're going to need that in a minute. Now we're going to install the Print Daemon. And we have a lot of nice apps. This is a good opportunity for us to show the beginning of our App Center. By the way, I want to plan, we just gotta figure this when we're going to do it. Another session just on the App Center. But let's one thing at a time. So I'm going into the App Center right now. And every time I'm in here, there's more and more apps. They just keep multiplying. I used to be able to just scroll through here and find what I wanted. Now look, there's 6 pages of apps and I got to search. Okay, so let's search here for the Print Daemon. In fact, I'll just search for print. Okay. This Alma roll toggler, by the way, which I just saw a moment ago. That's the where's the Print Daemon? There we go. Alma Print Daemon. Mark Gobat. Mark is on the call here. Mark is our developer, located in our Chicago office, who did a lot of the development behind this. So I'm going to click Alma Print Daemon. See if Mark is still on the call. I saw him earlier. View all attendees. Mark, you still with us? JKLM. Mark is still with us. Great. Okay, so here's the Alma Print Daemon. And a brief explanation. I'll click More Info. it jumps us to the GitHub of Ex Libris with the Alma Print Daemon. Then we can download it. Here's the exe file. It always shows the latest exe file. I'm going to click that exe file, save that file, and like any other software, I'll let the exe file download, double click it, and install the Print Daemon. And there's no need to do any kind of configuration when installing it. It's just next, 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 and it's installed. And I've already got it installed, even though that's a pretty fast download. But I'm not going to install it on the spot here. I've already got it installed. So let's take a look at it. So I've got it on my PC, and it's an Alma Print Daemon. There she is. And let's open it up. Okay, here it is, the Alma Print Daemon. Printing is paused. Now, there's a very basic configuration involved. File configuration. And first thing is to put in the API key. So I'm going to paste the API key. And if I say test, it shows me my printout queues. For example, I've got at the desk of Professor Alicia Hen, the Kentucky Mountain printer, the Library of Chinese Studies, and the main desk printer with printout queue. For example, why do I have those? Because my API key is pointing there. And if I were to come here into Alma now and go to, for example, the printers, I see that those which have a queue is at the desk of Professor Alicia Hen, the brand new printout queue, the Kentucky Mountain printer, the main desk printer with a printout queue, which is exactly what we see here. Now we also see the Library of the Chinese Studies printer because I also have the Library of the Chinese Studies printer, that if I go to the Library of Chinese Studies into printers, here it is, and we see that also is a printout queue. So we see that that API key is bringing me the correct ones. You put that API key in there once. Again, it's probably going to be your system admin who's going to do the installation. Maybe not, but probably, because the API keys are usually handled by a limited number of people in the institution. There's a lot of security and things involved there. So I'm back in the main library now. And if I had put in an API key which didn't work, which I just changed it to, once I do the test, I'm going to get an error message. Okay. So now I'll put my correct one in again. And now I've got it. I see a few questions came in. I'm going to stop and get the questions. Okay. And anyone can ask any question they want. I never say anyone's name. So feel free to ask a question about anything or say anything you want. No one will know it's you. So here's a question. To be clear, you installed the Alma Print Daemon on a workstation where a user is using Alma and not server-side. That is correct. The Alma Print Daemon is installed on a PC. On the PC where Alma is being used, which has access to the printer that you want to print to. We would need to install the Alma Print Daemon on each workstation we want to run it on. That is correct. The Alma Print Daemon, just like the printer, it needs to be installed, or yes, it needs to be installed on the PC that you want to use as the printing channel. Another question. A single API key is used to manage multiple printout queues in printers? Yes. That one API key that I used can be used in all of the print daemons. I would, though, change the question to be a little different. A single API key is used to manage multiple print demons. That's how I would phrase the question. But yes. Okay. And there was another question before that, I believe. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put this one out. I'm sorry, but I can't obtain the API key according to your instruction. We want to manage API keys. The only permission available is on the guest sandbox. Okay, that means the user that you've logged in on, or maybe you're not logged in, only has permission for a guest sandbox. If you're not logged in, here's my developers network. I'm logged in. If you're not logged in, you won't be able to do it. And even if you're logged in, it depends on your user. So you need to contact in your institution the person who is in charge of your APIs. And if you don't know who that is, you should contact your account manager or open a Salesforce case. But the ability to access the APIs here, first of all, means you need to be logged in. And second of all, it means that this user needs to be have the permission to do it. And that's in the My Account, etc. Okay, and then the other questions are, I hear you, I see you. Okay, great. So let's go on with the continuing of our configuration. Now I'll say I want to do this on the Kentucky Mountain printer. And now I choose to which printer do I want this to print. Now I can't choose, unfortunately, a real printer because, unfortunately, we're not together. If we were at a seminar and I had a printer next to me and I wanted to demo it, I could say, hey, look, it's printing to the printer. We don't have the luxury of all being in the same room with a printer right now. So I'm going to choose Microsoft to print PDF, and then it's automatically going to print to the PDF. And then we'll see the PDF pop up and we'll prove that it's printing. But normally it would go to an actual printer. And in the blog here, I did print it to a printer and then I took a picture of the printer. Here we go. I took a picture. It went to my HP DeskJet 4640, which I have in my office. And I show that it printed out the resource request slip letter for Alicia Hen. So here you can see my headphones and my iPhone charger. It went right to my printer. But now we're going to print it to the PDF, which is a printer. It's a printer called Print to PDF. Then we say it's going to be automatic printing within certain intervals. This means every minute it's going to go look for a new look to see if there's anything pending. And if so, it's going to automatically print in that every minute it goes and looks. Someone asks about the formatting. The formatting is the exact same as you would see it via an email or via the PDF. It's just a matter of where it's going to. The formatting is the same. There's no difference in the formatting. Okay, let's go on. Can the interval be less than 1 minute? Someone asks. No, the interval can't be less than 1 minute. But let me clarify. When the interval is 1 minute, it doesn't mean that you print something and a minute later it gets printed. It means it would take a maximum of 59 seconds because every minute it's going and looking. So it might be that you send a printout and it looked 5 seconds ago, in which case you would have to wait 54 seconds. It might be that it checked 50 seconds ago, which would mean you have to wait 9 seconds. But that's the limit, is 1 minute. And Mark, you're on the call. Feel free to jump in with anything else. But 1 minute is the limit. Okay. And by the way, if you were to say every 1 second, it's a little overkill. You got to remember there are resources now on your PC. Now you're not dealing with the cloud. Now we've switched to something installed on your PC. And In any case, it's 1 minute. Let's now use it. So I'm going to stop reading the questions just for a moment. Oh, someone likes my photo of my printer. Yeah. I had to make sure there was nothing incriminating on my desk there that shouldn't be seen, but it looks like I'm all right. Just a pen, headphones, and an iPhone charger. Okay, so let's go back now. So we've got the Print Daemon configured. Save. Did I choose the printer here? Yes, I did. Kentucky Mountain Printer, Microsoft the PDF. All of these printers, those are the same printers which appear here. Let me save. Those are all the same printers that if I have anything open and I decide to print, it's just going to the printers that I see here. And I chose this one here, the Microsoft Print to PDF. I can even send everything to a fax, but that gets a little complicated because it's not exactly like most printers. Anyway, so here we go. If I turn this on now, it's already going to go to that queue. So I'm going to say continue printing. And now, look at that. Okay, so there was less than 59 seconds, as you saw. It immediately printed it. So here it printed it. Here's my cash receipt that we printed just a moment ago. Eliosa Franny, €1. Everybody saw we did that. She's from Bismarck, North Dakota. And I'm going to call that afternoon session printout 1. Okay. Because this morning I also had a bunch of printouts. Did a session this morning. So that one has been printed. And now I get my next printout, the return receipt letter. If you remember, we loaned and returned to Elia. Everyone sees the formatting. Someone asked about the formatting. So this I'm going to call number 2. The formatting is the same as if we had printed to an email or any other way. Now we've got the loan receipt letter. So this is number 3. And then we've got the request slip that we did pick from shelf print slip. So now we've got number 4. So now those have all been printed. The Print Daemon is still running. It's minimized below here, and it says it's waiting to request the next batch. So if we go now to the Print Daemon, we say admin Printouts Queue. The Kentucky Mountain Printer has nothing pending. However, let's go to printed for the Kentucky Mountain Printer. Now we see all 4 here with status printed because they were printed. I'm going to leave this like this. I've got the Kentucky Mountain Printer. I'm going to say status all for the Kentucky Mountain Printer, and they're all printed. And now, while this is running, you see on the bottom here, I've got the Alma Print Daemon. It's running in the background. It always needs to be running in order for this to work. And now let's do another function. So let's go to this Lean Out Dawn for a minute. And I'll take the barcode. And let's say I'm going to make a request for this. Oh, not that. This is going to be for a patron physical item request. Alicia will do it. We'll pick it up at the main campus, main library. And submit. Okay. Now, from shelf, it's here. I'm going to print the slip. Okay. Somebody asked, you see here I can click click quick print. Somebody asks, what is the advantage? Let me go back to those questions. Here we go, chat. Someone says, let me go to that question. What is the advantage to using the Print Daemon over Alma's built-in quick printing? I define the Print Daemon once. By the way, the Print Daemon can work on multiple print queues. And one PC needs to define it. And even if I'm not the person doing the actual printing, look at that, it's already going. This is my afternoon printing. Let me just put this, oops, sorry about that. I'll call this afternoon printout. I don't even know what number we're on now. I think 5. We already printed it. The advantage, back to the advantage. One Print Daemon, this Print Daemon, I'm going to go back to the configuration. Pause printing and then configuration. This will print from the Kentucky Mountain printer or any of these print queues, regardless of if I'm the person who has done the activity. So you don't have to go tell a bunch of people you define quick printing and you define quick printing and make sure you have permission. Anytime something is printed to that queue, it automatically gets printed. Even if I'm not the person. In this demo here, I'm the person who's actually scanning in the item and causing the print queue to get that letter, but it could be anybody. Can the Print Daemon run? Oh, that's an interesting question. Mark, you're on the call. If you have a comment, let me know. Someone asked, can the Print Daemon run? Yes, the Print Daemon can run on a PC that is not running Alma. The answer is yes. The Print Daemon, someone asked, can the Print Daemon run on a PC that is not running Alma? Yes. Because it's basically using an API behind, we see, to go to that Print Daemon and print it. So yes. Okay, now let's go on and lost track. Okay, so we saw that last one was printed. Let's go take a look here where I put those. They're under documents. So these are the printouts from today. This printout 5 is from right now. And I'm just going to double click it. That's the one when I did pick from shelf, scan in letter. It automatically got printed. And now I'm going to scan that in because now I did the pick from shelf list. Someone went and got it. So now we scan it in. Okay. Now it's going to go on the shelf. Alicia will get an on-hold shelf. That means an on-hold shelf letter is going to get printed. Alicia will get a letter. Alicia will come to the desk and say, I got a notification that this item which I requested is available. She'll come and loan it. We're just going through a regular flow here. Loan it. The patron's ID first, right. Spell that properly. Go. Loan. Done. She'll get her loan receipt. Return. Okay. And okay. Now, let me point out that here in this PowerPoint, there's a lot more about the printout queue. People have been asking different questions about the printout queue. I believe it's every 7 days they're removed from the printout queue. People have been asking how long are the printed letters kept in the printout queue. So you can read in this PowerPoint. You can also, within Google, say Q-U-E-U-E, Alma Ex Libris. Spelling of the word Q is a little tough, I guess, if you're a regular English, heavy English reader and speller, it'll be fine, but Q-U-E-U-E. There we are. So everything is going to be in here. Oh, look at that. How long do items remain in the printouts queue? 2 people asked that, and like I said, it's 7 days. Great. Items remain in the printouts queue for 7 days and are automatically deleted by an internal job. So someone asked for how long are printed letters kept in Alma? 30 days, 365 days. The answer is 7 days. Let me see some other questions here. I'm going all the way to the bottom to get the newest. Okay. Can the print daemon be used to print automatically slip requests coming from Primo V? The print daemon doesn't care how a request was made, as long as an item is scanned in or a pick from shelf letter is printed for that request. If it goes to the printout queue, the print daemon will print it. If I logged into that environment you are using and take action that prompts a letter, do I need to have the print daemon configured and open? If you want, let's put it this way. If somebody wants letters that go to the printouts queue here to be printed when they have status pending, who knows why these are not printing, for example? It's because when I did the configuration here, when I showed the configuration, I did the pause. I'm going to say continue, and immediately those 2 letters, immediately, these 2 letters now are getting printed. I'm just going to save that as anything, and now it's going to change to printed. So the answer to your question, I'm just going to save these as anything. Repeat the question. So many letters, so little time, huh? Okay. Where was that question? Okay. Let me put it into Notepad where everyone can read it. Control A, Control V. If I logged into that environment you are using and take an action that prompts a letter, do I need to have the print daemon configured and open? It sounds like a no. You do not need it open and running. Somebody does. If the institution wants the letters that are sitting here in the Kentucky Mountain printer or some kind of a queue to automatically print without any human intervention, then somebody needs to have the print daemon open, configured to print the letters in this queue. These now say pending, but if I refresh it, because we just saw they got printed, it will say printed. So somebody, it doesn't have to be the same person using Alma, somebody needs to have the printouts queue open. The print daemon open and running. Because it's always checking. It can be on any PC, it's sending an API behind the scenes and it's saying, okay, print. It's basically doing the same function as this in print selected. That's what the API is doing. So it doesn't matter how the letter got here, and it doesn't matter who put it here. Okay, let's go back to the chat and to the questions. Can you practice with the printer and set up an Alma sandbox? Yeah, you can set this up in your sandbox. As long as the API key points to the sandbox, you can set it up in your sandbox. Someone asks about Windows VM. I don't want to commit to it. I believe everything's fine. You'd have to, Mark's on the call. Mark, if you have a comment, someone asks, can they run it on Windows VM? I don't know offhand. I believe yes, but I've never tried it myself. Can we, with only one print daemon, send different print queue to different printers? No. The print daemon, okay, someone answered it will run on, Mark answered. I'm going to put it right here. Question and the answer. Thank you, Mark. So, someone said, is there any reason the print daemon couldn't be running on a Windows virtual machine? You can run it on a Windows virtual machine. Someone else says, can we, with only one print daemon, send different printout queue to different printers? Let me answer it a different way. I'm going to pause because the only way to do the configuration is if you pause first. So, configuration. I can choose multiple printout queues, but I can only choose one printer per print daemon. Okay, if you want to print to different printers, you would have to set up separate PCs with separate each one with its own printer. One print daemon can go check multiple printout queues, but print to only one printer at a time. You'd have to come in here and change it. Just like, by the way, if I wanted to come print here, I can only print to one printer at a time, and then I'd have to redo it again. So I'd have to go back into the print daemon and choose a different printer. Okay, back to the questions. Chat. Can you practice in the setup? Yes, you can. Is it possible someone asked to send the printouts to PDF without automatic renaming? How it gets printed to the Microsoft Print to PDF, that already is not an Alma or a print daemon issue. It's how your printers are set up. My Microsoft Print to PDF is requiring me to save it. Okay, let's go on. Can you set up multiple daemons on one PC? You cannot run multiple PC print daemons on one PC. Or let me phrase that differently, because I'm sure somebody's going to figure out a way to do it. It wasn't, the print daemon was not designed to be run in multiple instances on the same PC. It's designed that one print daemon runs on one PC. And I think I just answered that next question with that answer. Okay. Anything else? I'm scrolling up here. It looks like I answered them all. Someone said thank you. Okay, that's a nice one. Thank you. Okay, I think we're covered. Okay, so are there any final questions from anybody? No. Okay, so thanks everybody for joining us. We're going to post this, as we do with all of our sessions, to our website and to YouTube, and we'll answer. One final question. Will we need a unique API key for each campus? No. You only need one API key, and that one API key can be used with all of the print daemons. Have a nice day, everybody, and we hope to see you in our next sessions. Bye-bye.